What is up, guys? It's Jacob from QuadHunting, and today we are talking about cut day. The Lions had till 4 p.m. today on Saturday, September 2nd, to make it down to the 53-man roster. They have done it. They are now down to the 53-man. They started, I think, today at 80-something players left, maybe high 70s. I can't exactly remember the exact number, but they cut down all the way down to the 53-man roster. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the cuts, and then we're going to go through the final roster. So starting off with the cuts that started last night, Friday, they weren't necessarily just cuts. They were also moving some players to suspended lists and keeping them on PUP or taking them off PUP, that kind of thing. So starting yesterday at 12:45 p.m., this is when they started making their big moves. Between the last 2 days, Sam Martin was to stay on the NFI list, meaning he will not be available to week 6. Matt Asiata was released. Michael Rector, Connor Bozick, Ziggy, and Robinson were then activated from the PUP list. So we got rid of 4 people, added 2 people back. We then got rid of Giorgio Newberry, Des Stewart, Tremaine Jacobs, no one I really thought was going to make the team. My first surprise is when they cut Alex Carter. I thought Carter was showing enough improvement to be warranted a roster spot. I was wrong. Hopefully he can catch on another team or keep on our practice squad. That'll be announced a little bit later. Josh Thornton was waived, and then today, that was all of yesterday's cuts. And today is when they really went hard and heavy on it. They cut Colwick, which was kind of a surprise. A lot of people thought the Lions were going to keep 4 tight ends. They ended up only keeping 3. Noel Thomas was waived. Kind of expected that with him. Pat O'Connor was cut. I thought he showed a decent amount to make the team, but he got outplayed by the 2 undrafted free agents. The biggest surprise to me, though, was when they cut Antoine Williams. I thought he was solid enough as a depth guy, but they decided to keep 2 special teamers instead of him. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. The roster is not done. They're going to keep moving around, signing and cutting people. So the roster is not set yet, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Then they traded Johnson Batamosi to the Patriots for a 6th-round draft pick in 2019. They waived then tight ends Robert Tonyan and Kyrie Lee. They cut Brad Kaya, which I had expected. Then they cut another guy who I was pretty high on, Leo Akulamanganji. That guy, I butchered those K names all preseason, but hopefully he's going to stick around on the practice squad. He's someone I'm still high on. But Cadshawn Lyons and Roland McGilligan. Wow, I'm butchering names today. And then Jace Billingsley was cut at just before 2:50. And then we didn't get the final cuts until after 4 o'clock. So it was just a bunch of no names that ended up getting cut. We actually didn't cut anyone too surprising to me besides Antoine Williams. And I was hoping Leo was going to make the team. I liked him. But this is the full 53-man roster now. Lions kept 2 quarterbacks, Stafford and Rudock, which is the right decision. I did not think Kaya is in risk of being poached anytime soon. And Rudock has shown he's played good enough in this last preseason to where you can just keep 2 quarterbacks and not have to worry about it too much. The Lions then surprisingly kept 5 running backs. Like I said, I thought it was going to be 4 tight ends. Instead, they kept 5 running backs instead of 4 tight ends, and they kept Abdullah, Riddick, Zenner, Washington, and hero of the last game against the Bills, Tion Green. I liked that run. I think he could be solid. I don't think he'll be anything more than what Zach Zenner is now, which is just a solid depth guy. If that's where he is, that's good enough to stay on a team that works for him. We kept 5 receivers: Jones, Tate, Galladay, T.J. Jones, and Jared Aberdeus. A lot of fans upset that it wasn't Billingsley, but I'm pretty happy about it. I thought Aberdeus was a better route runner and more polished and gives more to us than Billingsley did. He did not look good in that last game at all. 3 tight ends, like I mentioned, is just Ebron, Fells, and Roberts. Is kind of who I predicted at the beginning of the season. Offensive linemen, they kept 9, including 4 tackles with Rick Wagner, Greg Robinson, Cornelius Lucas, and Corey Robinson. So I think not too crazy there. I was surprised when they cut Cyrus earlier this week, but with this set of tackles, I'm confident enough that we'll be all right until Decker gets back. And then for guards, we kept 4 with Lang, Glasgow, Dahl, and Brandon Thomas. A lot of people don't know who Brandon Thomas is, but he ended up making the team. He was a guy that we traded for last year towards the middle of the season. never really did anything, but now he's on the team. Travis Swanson, again, is our only center, and that makes Graham Glasgow more valuable as he can swing inside if needed. 9 defensive linemen with Ansa, Zettel, Cornelius Washington, Jeremiah Valaga, and Alex Barnett. It was 5 DNs, 4 D tackles with Nagata, Robinson, Spence, and the rookie Jeremiah Ledbetter. I did not really expect him to make it. I think he was he made it due to injury, but he really didn't have much competition, so good for him making the team. I don't expect him that he'll be there too long. I think he'll end up on the practice squad at some point, sadly. Then for linebackers, we kept 6, and this is where I was more surprised than anything else, with Jared Davis, Tahir Whitehead, Jalen Reeves-Maben, Paul Worleylow, Steve Longa, and Nick Belmore. I had been saying I wanted to keep Steve Longa on the team for the last couple of videos I've done on the roster predictions. I did not expect Nick Belmore to be anything worthy to make the team, but he did. The coaching staff and front office see something in him and they like. They do like the special teams players, so hopefully that's all he has to do, and we stay healthy enough at linebacker that we don't have to have special teamers playing linebacker. Moving to defensive backs, we kept 11. We have 6 corners and 5 safeties. Slay, Lawson, Tabor, Hayden, and Diggs, and Agnew. I was happy Agnew made it. I was kind of a fan of him all preseason. I like his return ability, and I think he played solid enough that he could be an asset on defense if we need him to be. But he'll probably need a couple years to learn the game more and get adjusted. But as of right now, I'm liking what I see with him. Safety-wise, like I said, kept 5. We kept Glover Quinn, Tavon Wilson, Miles Killebrew, Don Carey, and Charles Washington. Washington or Carter, I think, could have been a swap. I was more high on Carter than Washington, so they were higher on Charles Washington, and they know the guys. I just talk about them, so I'll trust their judgment on that one. Special teamers is just the 3 guys: Prater, Molback, and Redfern. As we mentioned earlier, Martin's staying on the NFI list. He's going to be out for the first 6 weeks of the season at least, which means Casey Redfern starts the season as the Lions punter. And I think he played decent enough in the preseason that we don't have anything to worry about until Martin gets back. So but that's what it looks like. There was talk about carrying 2 punters, just if Martin would be ready like week 3 or something like that. Instead, they decided to keep him out till week 6. And then let Casey Redford go and be the starting punter. So that's the team. That's our 53-man roster. There will be cuts and there will be additions as they look through other teams' trash piles, as I call them. That's where Martin Mayhew was probably the best at, was he could find garbage and turn them into contributors. So that's going to be coming up here soon. They'll be finding some guys to bring in to be depth guys for us. You won't see too big of changes at the top of the depth chart or top of the roster. It'll be more towards the guys at the bottom. The 45th through 53rd guy, I believe, is the ones that are going to have the most rotation in the next couple days. Could see some more trades. We've already seen a couple, stocking up on some draft picks on guys we probably would have cut anyways, with Laken Tomlinson and Johnson Batamosi. So that's it. That's the video. Hopefully it's a little shorter than normal. It's about 10 minutes long, so that's good. But if you like the video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe down below, leave comments also down below, share this on any social media site you feel like, and I will see you guys if there's any other big news this weekend before I have to go back to classes and stuff. So I hope you all have a happy Labor Day. If you're watching this before Labor Day, if you're watching on Labor Day, happy Labor Day. If you're watching after, happy belated Labor Day. And I will see you guys all next time.